I'm so excited to be here with all of you, and thank you for that beautiful introduction, Tristan. So I don't know, we're all at different places right now. There's so much unknown, and I think that's one of the reasons I know I'm called to do even more of this work right now, because while we've always known there are things that we can't control right now, that seems to be in the forefront. So some of you might be feeling a little bit of anxiety and tension. Also, for all of us, our environments have completely changed and we've all had to adapt. And no matter what, change can also cause different emotions. So what I'd love to do today is to give all of you tools that you can use every day, not just right now in our session, that if for any reason you're having anxiety, you have some breathing techniques that you can use. If for some reason you're just having one of those days, I don't know about you, but I've had those days where I wake up and I just almost feel like doing nothing. And then at the end of the day, I don't feel that good inside. So how do I tackle one of those days? So the first thing I'd love to do is I'd love to talk a little bit about meditation. Why would meditation help us right now? So the definition of meditation is really to focus our mind on one thing. So you might find that when you're writing, when you're dancing, when you're just really focused on one thing. And we're going to start by focusing on breath. So we often hear about how breathing can really help us. I was always taught in yoga philosophy that while our mind controls the body, the breath controls the mind. So we see this a lot if we're having a lot of anxiety or if we're having an anxiety attack, which might happen for some of us, we focus on breath. When we're doing something that's really physical, whether it's running, for some of us, when we go into labor, when we're exerting ourselves, we want to focus on breath because breath can really control the mind and then control the body. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to practice something called square breathing. And so the way this works is we're going to inhale slowly through the nose, hold for a moment, exhale out the mouth, and then hold our breath before we inhale again. If you're pregnant, you can do all of that, just don't hold your breath after the exhale. We don't want to prevent oxygen from getting to your baby. So here we go. We're just going to inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale out the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. And now just see how your breath is in your body or how that makes you feel. Doing this kind of breathing, square breathing, which is what we just did, where the duration of time that we're inhaling, holding, exhaling, and holding is the same, is a really great way to just automatically calm ourselves down and focus. So that's one tool that you can use if you're starting to feel a little bit of anxiety, is just do some square breathing. The next thing I'd love to do with you is one of my favorite meditations, and it's a gratitude meditation. So we're going to talk through some basic meditation techniques, and then we'll do it together. One of the reasons that we meditate is we often hear about being in the present moment. What's great about this is when we think about fear and anxiety, fear is always worry about the past. Anxiety is worry about the future. So by staying in the present and focusing on breath, we're not allowing fear and anxiety to live. We're just really focusing on this present moment where we're all okay right now. So with this meditation, what I'd love for you to do is go ahead and Sit in a nice comfortable position. Your legs can be crossed, they can be out in front of you. If you'd like, you can place a pillow behind your back for back support or a small pillow underneath you if that helps you to align your back. But you want to think about your back being nice and straight so all of your chakras are aligned. You can also lie down if that feels better for you. So just sitting here or lying down, but if you're sitting, you want to have your shoulders right over your hips. You can let your palms just lay face up in your lap and go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to let go of any notion that you have to do something right and just listen to my voice, and what you're doing is exactly right. So just start by inhaling through the nose, nice and slow, and then just exhaling out the mouth. And again, inhaling through the nose, holding for just a moment, and then just exhaling out the mouth. This time, when you inhale, raise your shoulders up towards your ears, nice, high, and tight. And as you exhale, drop them down and forward. And again, inhaling your shoulders up towards your ears and back. And as you exhale, down and forward. And one last time, inhale those shoulders up towards your ears, and then release all that tension. Exhale down and forward. And as you continue to breathe, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth, I want you to start imagining that with each inhale, you're just breathing in this fresh white light, this present moment. And with every exhale, you're just letting go of any stress that you don't need, any mental stress, emotional stress, any physical tension. You can even just shake your body if you just want to shake it out. Inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth, just letting this beautiful white light come into your body and fill you up with this fresh new oxygen, and then exhaling out anything that doesn't serve you. Continue this cycle of breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. And now I just want you to start imagining one thing that fills you with a feeling of joy or gratitude. Maybe it's that you're giving yourself time to do this today. Maybe it's someone in your life. Maybe it's a fond memory you have. Whatever that thing is that starts to just fill you with that warm, beautiful light, allow that feeling to just start growing inside of you. Maybe it's getting larger and larger. This big warm ball of light, this feeling of joy and gratitude. Maybe it's getting larger than your body. And just keep breathing it in. If another thought or feeling comes up, just let it go and come back to this feeling of joy and gratitude. And just let it continue to grow. Maybe it gets larger than your body, larger than the space around you, out through the walls and into the world. And just knowing that you can even let go of the thought that inspired this feeling of joy and gratitude, but just live in this feeling, feeling it inside of you and also surrounding you, letting you know that you are safe, you are protected, you are loved. As you continue to inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth, place your right hand over your heart, your left hand over your belly. Still feeling that gratitude, just allowing yourself to feel that beautiful connection of breath to body. And as we inhale, our chest rises, belly fills, and as we exhale, belly empties, chest falls. Just feeling that beautiful, simple motion. Still allowing ourselves to feel that feeling of gratitude. letting your palms come to rest back on your lap if you're sitting, or down by your side if you're lying down. And just start to see if there's a word or a phrase that emerges to your mind or body. And if there is, just observe it and let it go. Still inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. Keeping your forehead relaxed, your jaw can relax, your neck and shoulders can just fall and relax. Elbows can relax, fingertips can relax. You can let your low back and your knees just turn to liquid. Your hips can relax, your calves, your ankles, and even your toes can just relax. Nothing has to be held in any certain way. And just allow yourself to feel that connection to the ground underneath you. The earth is holding you up. Your body has to do absolutely nothing. And you can just lay here and breathe. When we connect to this feeling of gratitude and joy, we are connecting to our Purusha, our true self. It's the unchanging self we are born into the world, and what we will leave with when we go. And that's what that white light is. So at any time, at any point in your day, you can connect to your true self by just thinking about one thing that you're grateful for or that brings you joy, and connecting to that feeling and letting it grow. Still inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth, starting to bring some awareness back to your body. Just very gently flutter your eyes open and see how you feel right now. Did anyone have a word or a phrase that emerged for them that they would like to share? Or you can just keep it to yourself. I recommend doing this gratitude meditation first thing in the morning. It's a great way to connect to self. One other kind of meditation that I'd love to share with you as a tool is using a little bit of mantra. So how many of you have heard of the term mantra before? So we use it quite a bit. And what mantra is, it's a Sanskrit word, which is one of the most ancient languages. And so man is mind and tra is tool. So a mantra is really a tool for the mind. I think the most popular mantra that we are familiar with is Aum or Om. So it's 3 different sounds. So Om is actually spelled A-U-M. So let's work on chanting the mantra Om. Om is considered to be the sound that was made when the universe was created, and it carries all of the other sounds within it. So when we chant Om, we really allow ourselves to be open and be at peace with the universe. It connects us to everything. So go ahead and close your eyes. And let's chant the first part of Om together, the Ah sound. So you're going to let your mouth hang nice and loose and open. And we'll do a nice Ah. Just feeling that nice sound. The second sound of Om is the Oo sound, the U sound. So let's do that together. Ooh. And the third part of the Om sound is the M. And we make this by really putting our lips together and letting that sound come through. So let's try that and see how it feels to really feel the vibration. So now we're going to put all 3 sounds together, ah, oo, and So really let that sound come up from your sacral chakra, so right from where you're sitting, and letting it come all the way up through you and vibrate, and then come out your mouth. So here we go. Let's inhale. Aum. And let's try that one more time. And this time, I want you to do it silently, allowing your body to just fill with the vibration. Beautiful. So those are two meditations that you can use at any time of the day. As I mentioned, the gratitude meditation is something I love first thing in the morning. And you can chant Om at any time. I like to do that after the gratitude meditation or throughout the day to just feel grounded and connected. And that vibration you might find just wakes you up a little bit and brings you more awareness. So, what I'd love to do is also just give you some tools for self care tips during quarantine. So, rule number one, if you're tired, allow yourself to take a nap. Naps are okay. I know right now, a lot of us are fighting this need to be so productive right now. But the truth is, we have all gone through some collective trauma and are still going through it. So our body responds to that by being tired. You might find you're exhausted at times. So allow yourself to nap. The other thing that I'd love to give you is if you have something to write with, you can just go ahead and grab your journal or something to write with. I want to give you a quick tool that you can use this week to get some of your time back. So, what I'd love for you to do is I'd love for you to write down what your ideal day is. What does that look like? So, everything from the moment you wake up, I want you to track a 24-hour period of time. So that can be everything from, okay, when I wake up, my ideal day, I would love to work out in the morning, or I'd love to be able to hit the snooze button a few times, whatever is perfect for you. Maybe it's, I want to make sure I take a shower in the morning. I want to connect with my family. I want to make sure we all sit down and eat together. And then I'm going to do that until 9 a.m. And from 9 to 12, I'm going to do some work then. From 12 to 1, I'm really just going to focus on making a healthy meal. Maybe you're going to also, tag in some time for things that are fun for you. Maybe you're going to play some games. Maybe you're going to watch a favorite television show or movie at night. So you write down exactly what your ideal day is. And then the next thing I want you to do is for this next week. So as soon as we're done with the session, I want you to go ahead and log your hours. So this is going to be a little bit tedious, but I promise it's really rewarding. So you're going to start by just logging your hours from the moment you wake up and seeing how you actually spend your time. So you might find that by the end of the week, I know that when I did this, I found that I was spending a lot of time just literally zoning out on my couch doing nothing. I literally spent in one day 4 hours, a total of 4 hours doing nothing. And I thought, how could that be? So just by being aware of that, I was able to figure out how to make sure what I wanted to be productive time was productive. But most importantly, I discovered I had all of this time to really restore myself. And so I was able to start planning time to meditate more, get more creative with my meals, take naps. So you might find you actually have more time in your day than you think. So that's one tool that I would love to give you to work on this week. The other thing that we can do when we think about self care during quarantine is our day to day. So, a really great tip that I have is don't watch any news after 9 p.m. or for at least an hour before bedtime. I love to shut off all of my social media and any of the media that I'm taking in at least an hour before bedtime. I just found that that was causing me a lot of stress, and by not doing that, I was able to get better sleep. And with that, I just want to talk a little bit about sleep. So, how many of you are having a hard time sleeping? Anyone? Right now is a time where sometimes healthy sleep feels like a little bit more of a challenge. So, I want to give you a beautiful breathing technique that if you are feeling some insomnia, that you're able to calm yourself down and get yourself into a great mindset. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to demonstrate first, so just watch first, because if you do it, you won't be able to hear me. What you're going to do is you're going to take both of your thumbs and you're going to put them into your ears. Now, when you do this, it's going to feel like you might be in a wind tunnel or you're really blocking some sound, and that's exactly how it should feel. So you're going to put your thumbs into your ears. You're going to take your fingers, put them over your eyes, and you're going to very slowly, so remember, slowly is key, not fast. Inhale through the nose and let your head go back. Then you're going to hold for the same period of time. And then you're going to exhale through your nose. So let's try this all together. We're going to do it 6 times. So it's going to feel like, oh, I'm really spending some time doing this. So just for a moment, be aware of where your body is at, how your mind is feeling, and then let's do this together. I really recommend breathing in for a slow count of 6, holding for a slow count of 6, and exhaling for a slow count of 6. And everybody can do this. All right, so go ahead and put your thumbs into your ears. Fingertips over the eyes. We're going to very slowly bring your head back, inhaling through the nose for 6, holding for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhaling through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale out the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try it one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and take those thumbs out of your ears and just see how you feel. You might find you just feel way more calm. Just putting your fingertips over your eyes releases a lot of tension. So we tend to hold tension in our foreheads, in our shoulders, and a lot of times in our low back and hips. So this is a really nice way to just bring peace of mind before you go to bed. Other self-care tips for quarantine that I'd love to share with you. So eating healthy and staying hydrated. We all know that that's something we should be doing, but how many of you are finding that's a little bit difficult because our schedules are changed? So with eating healthy, you might find, especially at home with families, that meal planning is really helpful during this time period. So try to meal prep maybe on the Sundays before you start getting into the week, so that maybe your vegetables are chopped, because that can just save a really simple amount of time that will give you more time for things that you need during the week. And staying hydrated. So one thing that you can really do for yourself is take a glass of water, put it on your nightstand at night right before you go to bed, and then drink it first thing in the morning before you even get out of bed. You might find that drinking 8 glasses of water a day is something that you can just really find as a manageable and measurable goal right now, which is going to do a lot for our bodies. So right now, because we're in a period where there's more stress, we want to do things that are going to make our immune system stronger. So eating healthy and hydrating are really going to help you do that. The other thing that we can do is we can start exploring how to build practices of gratitude. So one thing we can do is that gratitude meditation. Another thing that you can do is, if you have time right now, you can write a letter to somebody that you've been thinking about, that you want to send some love to, and send that in the mail if that's accessible to you. Or you could even think about writing an email, letting somebody know what you're so grateful for about them. And I'm sure they're going to love receiving that from you. Another way that we can practice gratitude is also showing gratitude to ourselves. Sometimes it can feel like we don't have a lot to be grateful for within ourselves if we're not feeling great. So a great way to work with that is to write a letter to yourself, letting yourself know what you're grateful for. Maybe it's how you're taking care of your family. Maybe it's how you're, you know, at the beginning, I know for me, I was being really proud of myself for waking up and just wearing real people clothes, and taking my showers. So you can literally choose anything you want, but something that is a goal that you did, or maybe it's your ability to be kind to others, or maybe it's your ability to listen to others. Maybe it's your ability to show up for those in the community. What are you grateful for in yourself? This is a great time to just remind yourself of those good qualities. The other thing that I would recommend is writing 12 gratitudes every night before bed. So when we think about building practices of gratitude, we have writing letters to others, or writing emails to others, writing a note to ourselves, and also writing 12 gratitudes at night. So let's just practice this right now. So everybody grab what you have to write with and go ahead and just take a minute and write down, what are you grateful for right now? And it can literally be anything. Maybe it's for your family. Maybe it's for a rug that you're sitting on that you love the texture of. Maybe it's for someone in your life. Maybe it's for your ability to be forgiving to yourself. Maybe you're grateful for the sun that is outside. Maybe you're grateful for your pet. Maybe you're grateful for plants. Once you start writing the list of gratitude, you'll just see that it's endless. There are so many things that we can be grateful for. I had someone ask me once, is it okay if I write down that I'm grateful for my new coasters? And I said, absolutely. When we can find gratitude in everything around us, it starts to change our outlook in the world. And right now, it's a great time to start finding ways in which we can help ourselves to feel and see what is abundant around us. So what are some of the things that you have written? Would anybody like to share? If you feel like it, you can just write it into the chat box, and then we will hear them and share them, maybe at the end of the video or as they come in. But that's a great practice that I love to do. Another great self-care practice for right now is maintaining routine. So how many of you have found that your routine is just out the window? So I want us to work on getting some of our routine back. So what I'd love for you to do is I'd love for you to think about your morning routine and your bedtime routine. What are two things that you can do consistently for this week? So in your notebook, go ahead and write down two things that you would like to do every morning right when you wake up, and every evening right before you go to bed. So we've already covered a couple that you can add to your list if you're looking for ideas. Maybe part of your bedtime routine is writing 12 gratitudes and placing a glass of water next to your bed. And maybe something that you can do right when you wake up is drink that glass of water, and while you're lying down in bed or sitting up in bed, the first thing you do is do that gratitude meditation. If you do that consistently for a week, you'll start to feel a difference in your day and your night. If you're having trouble sleeping, you can add that insomnia breathing to it. And the other thing to think about is moving our bodies. So there's been some wonderful ways to do that shared on the family equality site in the neighborhood. I've noticed there's been dance classes. So dance is a great way to move your body. Or if dance doesn't feel like that's the thing for you, just waking up and stretching. So while you're lying in bed, you could even just draw your right knee into your chest and hold it there, relax it. Draw your left knee into your chest, relax it, sit up. We can all just right now raise your hands to the sides and then bring them all the way up above you. stretching those fingers, maybe making your fingers wiggle like this, right up above you, and then bringing it back down. You could even do 4 or 5 sun salutations every morning, but just you can add moving your body to your morning list, or maybe that's going to be somewhere else in your ideal daily schedule. But if you can, moving at least 15 minutes a day is going to make a big difference in how you're feeling overall. So another thing that I'd love to offer you is, how many of you are doing so many Zoom meetings right now? So many Zoom meetings all the time. So you might find that your body is really sedentary, which is why moving around is really going to help. But what can you do right away just as you're on the computer? So what I want you to do is go ahead and sit. You can keep your shoulders above your hips, or if you're sitting in a chair, that's perfect because that's probably how you are when you're working. Go ahead and lift your elbows out to the sides like this, and then go ahead and draw them back. Just really opening your heart chakra, getting your shoulder blades to maybe touch, and then come back, give yourself a hug. Go ahead and let's do that again. Bringing it back, coming forward, giving yourself a hug. And let's do that again. And then go ahead and come back, give yourself a hug. And one more time, and give yourself a hug. Another thing that you can do is when you take your breaks, maybe you keep your water not right next to you, but in the kitchen, so that you get up, walk to the kitchen, and then you can just stretch a little bit then. But just stretching throughout the day is really going to help you quite a bit. If you start to feel anxiety during the day, you can always use the square breathing that we talked about. But I want to give you one other tool for anxiety and just to calm your mind and to bring your mind into focus. So this is going to be pranayama breathing, which is a kind of breathing that we use for so many different things. But we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. So let's do it together. You're going to take your thumb and you're just going to close your right nostril. You're going to inhale slowly for a slow count of 6 through your left nostril. Pinch your nose closed for a count of 6. Open up your right nostril. Exhale very slowly out of your right nostril for 6. Inhale through the right nostril for 6. Close both nostrils for 6. Exhale out the left nostril for 6. Inhale through the left nostril for 6. Close both nostrils for 6. Exhale out the right for 6. Try to keep your eyes closed if you can. Inhale through your right nostril for 6. Close both nostrils for 6. Exhale out the left nostril for 6. Inhale through the left nostril for 6. Close both nostrils for 6. Exhale out the right for 6. Inhale through the right for 6. Close both nostrils. Exhale out the left for 6. See how your breathing is now. So that's a really powerful kind of breathing. It's also great because it just maximizes the amount of oxygen that gets to all parts of your body, which means that we're helping our immune system. We're getting everything going. It's really good for increasing respiratory function. So that's a really nice exercise. I've shared that with a lot of my friends who are medical professionals too, because they're looking for different breathing methods to give to some of their patients. So that's something you can just start incorporating into your daily life. I just wanted to open up for any questions that you might have, or I can keep going on with self-care techniques. How's everybody feeling?
Yeah, it looks like things are going really well. We had some questions, do you know why the like sort of, I've heard of the nostril technique before, and so have some other folks. Why in the heck does that work? Do you know? Like, what's the science behind it?
That is a great question. So I don't know the exact science behind it, but what I've been told by my teacher is that when we really focus on breathing in through the nose or out through the mouth, have any of you ever used a neti pot? So when you do a neti pot and you're really just focusing on getting air circulating in and out of just these passages, it really just connects to so much more of our brain space up here and all of the passages here. So it just allows more oxygen to flow in and out than it does when we're just inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. It's a way to concentrate and flush our oxygen system. That's what I was told. So
Amazing.
that's a great question.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to say, I was like, oh God, how am I going to come up with 12 things I'm grateful for? But really, when I started writing them down, it was much easier than I thought. It was much easier than I thought. And so I appreciate that that's so simple and easy. And it's not as daunting as it seems once you get started.
Yeah, I feel like, with so many things, that's why it's just helpful if you have a notebook on hand. It's really great. And also, the other great thing about doing the gratitudes is people often ask me, why 12? Why do you do 12 gratitudes before bed? And I find by the time I get to 12, I'm in a zone where I could actually keep writing quite a bit more. So then when I go to sleep, I just automatically I keep thinking about what I'm grateful for and I get way better sleep. It's also really great. So I know, like, if I'm having sort of a down day, I don't know how many of you have been having down days. It's really great to have your gratitude list because then you can just go to it and look at it, and it reminds you what you're grateful for. There's one other thing that I'd love to give you in terms of journaling exercises that I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'd love for you to do is in your journal, I would love for you to write down, I feel good when. So just go ahead and write that. I feel good when. And I want you to just go ahead and start listing things that make you feel good right now. So maybe it's hugging someone, maybe it's playing with your pet, maybe it's talking to someone on the phone, maybe it's the texture of something or reading a favorite book. I know on my list is chocolate peanut butter cups. It can be anything and everything that you want, anything that makes you feel good. Maybe it's music. And what I want you to do is after you've written down 20, you can just keep adding to this list as the week goes. But I want you to do 2 of those things a day. So maybe it's just making sure you get outside so that you step outside, you feel that fresh air, take a few breaths. And that can be one of them. Maybe it's listening to a favorite song. I've been playing a lot of Whitney Houston every morning, and that really makes me feel great in the morning. So you choose what's good for, what feels good for you. But I think it's really important that we sort of lean into what feels good right now.
And not just when it's a crisis. Yesterday I had a really rough day. And so I asked my toddler if he wanted to go to the park with me because we have one of those, we live in Portland, so the parks are huge. So you can practice social distancing while also being outside in nature.
That's
And of course he was like, yes. And it was amazing to just like watch him climb a tree and like look for ducks at the park. And I wish that I hadn't waited until I was having a rough day and needed it before sort of building in those practices so that maybe the days aren't so rough when they do come along.
I think that's amazing that you did that, and that's really valuable. And one thing to think about is exactly what you said. Some of these tools, ideally, we've talked about so many different ones. So see what you're naturally drawn to, because the idea is that if you start implementing these tools, that hopefully it helps you before you get to a point where you are having the bad day, or that right when you do, right away, you're like, wait a minute, what's that thing that makes me feel good? And so even when I don't feel like doing something that makes me feel good, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to that chocolate peanut butter cup. That really got me through the first 2 weeks of quarantine.
Very smart. And we do have someone who's on, Jess, just says that they really appreciate the tangible practices and routines like writing and integrating, breathing before bed, that it's really, I think, useful when you're a parent to have structured tools and not just the idea of like practice self-care. And it's like, what does that mean? But if I can go to my list and be like, oh yeah, I really like having a bath. Can I have a bath? And is it worse if there's a kid in the bath with me, or is that actually something that really brings me a lot of joy, is to like be with my family or like a baby in the bath time? So yeah, that's really helpful.
That I love that you brought up. Thank you, Jess. Thank you for that comment. And also, talking about baths, that's been something that's been coming up for a lot of people and been on a lot of people's lists. Just, one thing that's really nice about being in a bath, whether you are alone or with someone, is that you really can't be doing anything else. So it forces you to just relax and be present. And anytime you can do that throughout the day, that's just gonna help your mental state and your emotional state. The other thing that I'd love to just touch upon is a little bit about personal growth. Now's a great now's a great time where we can focus on personal growth. When we think about growth in general, we often think about, external ways to measure. So, what is personal growth? And a great way to measure that is for you to think about one question that you would like to answer about yourself. So, this can be something that you can do on your own, or if you'd like to share the answers and do it with your family, could be a really great family activity. So, what are ideas of questions that you might want to ask yourself? So, questions that might draw more self awareness or self growth. So, maybe I'm going to ask myself, how kind was I today? Or maybe I'm going to ask myself, how is my mood? Maybe I'm going to ask myself a question about a certain habit or a specific goal, any of those things. Or maybe it's a question about, how am I spending my time? So I want you to just think about one question for this week that you want to know the answer to about yourself. And go ahead and just write that down in your notebook. And then every day, I want you to write down the answer for yourself. And then at the end of the week, I want you to just check in with what that is. So you will have learned something about yourself that's going to then help you grow. Now, another way to measure personal growth is by setting a goal for yourself. So set a goal for yourself if it feels good, but don't set a goal for yourself if right now is not a time where you want to be setting any extra goals at all. Because I really want you to do what's feeling good. So if you've learned something from asking yourself a question about yourself, and now you're like, I want to set a goal. So there's a great way to set a goal. There's a great framework for setting a goal, and it's called using SMART goals. So when we think about goals, we want them to be specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and timely. We want them to have a deadline. So I know when we first started quarantine, I noticed I wasn't drinking enough water. If you notice, water is a big theme that keeps coming up because I just found that was something that I was really affected by as well, as a number of people in my life. So we started setting a SMART goal for ourselves. So it was a specific goal. We want to be more hydrated. Was it measurable? Yes, I could measure how many glasses of water I was drinking a day. So I was working up to 8 glasses of water a day. So every day I would just write down how many glasses of water I drank a day. Was it actionable? Yes, it's an action that I could do. Is it relevant? Yes, because it's going to make me feel better. It's going to help my immune system. It's going to help me digest better, all of those things. And when we think about timely, was I able to set a deadline on it? So in one week, I was able to get myself up to building a great habit of drinking more water. And you can literally do that with any goal you want to set for yourself if you decide you want to set a goal for yourself. So when thinking about personal growth, think about what's a question you'd like to answer for yourself. Write the answer down every day of the week, review it at the end of the week, and then maybe ask yourself, is there a goal I want to set for myself? And then go for it and be gentle with yourself. The first day I drank like 3 glasses of water, which wasn't great, but instead of putting the judgment on it, I was like, oh, that's great. I'm just noting I drank 3 glasses of water. And then the next day I drank 5. And then all of a sudden I just built it up. And that's the way goal setting and personal growth works. The other great thing when we think about personal growth is because nobody has the same mind, body, and spirit as you, the only person you want to compare yourself to is yourself. So even if you and your family set the same goal, I only want you to look at how you're doing with that goal, how you did yesterday, maybe a month ago, 5 years ago. That's really the only way that we can measure our own personal growth. And I think that's a great exercise and thing to think about right now. Before we wrap up, I also just wanted to give you one last meditation. So this is called a thought meditation, and you can do this any time of the day. So today we'll do it for about 5 minutes. Now, what is thought meditation? We're going to start focusing on our breath just like we did with the first meditation, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. If you happen to have a thought that comes to mind, I want you to just imagine that it's floating by on a cloud. And so that you can just think, oh, I observe I'm having a thought. Maybe you're having a feeling about that thought. I observe I'm having a feeling about that thought. Maybe you're having a judgment about having thoughts and feelings. I observe I'm judging myself about having thoughts and feelings. Why is the thought meditation important? What's great about it is, when we think about the gratitude meditation, that it connects us to our Purusha, our true self. Everything else in the universe is considered Prakriti or matter. So that's people, our bodies, our thoughts, emotions, the furniture around us, the room that we're in. All of that is actually matter that is ever changing. So when we observe our thoughts and our feelings, it really reminds us that we are not our thoughts and our feelings, which is a really powerful tool for right now. And not even for right now, for always, because there are times where, I don't know about you, if you've had an experience of something in the past, or maybe you're replaying a conversation over and over. Oh, I wish I would have said this, or I think I hurt this person's feelings and they felt like that. And when you do it, you start to have that feeling. That's because your body is still holding that feeling. But remember, we are not our thoughts and our feelings. And if it's about a conversation or something that's happened, it's actually in the past. It's not even real right now, right? So we can let that go. So let's all do a nice thought meditation. We'll do it for about 5 minutes, keeping your shoulders over your hips. Close your eyes. Start to gently inhale through your nose, exhale out the mouth. Just feeling that fresh white light come in, holding it for a moment, exhaling out anything that doesn't serve you. Shake out your body, your shoulders if you need to. And just be gentle with yourself. If you find yourself having other thoughts outside of concentrating on your breath, just let it float away like it's on a cloud. I observe I'm having a thought. I observe I'm having a feeling about that thought. If you've fallen into a spiral with that thought, I observe that I fell down into it and I'm going to let it go. And just keep breathing. Still keeping your forehead relaxed. Still keeping your shoulders relaxed. Still keeping your hips and your knees relaxed. Still keeping your ankles and your toes relaxed. Just allowing yourself to breathe. Knowing your body is supported. Letting those thoughts and feelings float by like they're on a cloud. Allowing space for non-judgment and just being. Keep focused on that breath. Still inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. Forehead relaxed, jaw relaxed. Still breathing. Just gently drawing awareness back to your body. Let's do a nice Om together. And one more time. And this time silently, allowing your body to fill with the vibration. And then keeping your eyes closed, go ahead and rub your palms together, creating some heat and energy in your hands. Place them over your eyes so you may always see truth, over your lips so you may always speak truth, and over your heart so you may always live and experience truth. And then just repeat after me, keeping your hands over your heart. I am whole. I am complete. I am enough. I am loved. I am joy. The universe flows with me. And today is a great day. Go ahead and just flutter your eyes open. So at the end, what we did, so there's the thought meditation that we did that I highly recommend. And at the end, we went back to that Om mantra, which we worked on before. And then we did what I call positive affirmations. So positive affirmations are really wonderful. And that's something else that you can do if you'd like to add that into your self-care practice. But the most important thing is that we speak to ourselves kindly, that we speak to ourselves with love, that we speak to ourselves with forgiveness. So go ahead and take both of your hands and just put them over your heart chakra. And you can either pulse your hands or you can just give yourself a nice gentle heart massage. But we're just rubbing our heart chakra. We're pulsing that beautiful white light in. And I want us all to just offer ourselves forgiveness. Offer yourself compassion. Offer yourself love. And offer yourself kindness. When we offer ourselves these things every day, it helps ourselves, it helps us to be better to our families, and it also helps us to be better to our communities. So I hope all of these tools are tools that you find useful at different times. And also, if you have any questions, I'm also here if you have any questions. Tristan, are there any other questions that came up?
Yeah, one person is wondering if, do you have any advice for doing any of these practices with kids, either with teenagers and young adults or with younger kids? Which do you think might be easy to translate to them?
I think that the what feels good is a really fun exercise to do with any age, adults, teenagers, and kids. And if they're not able to write yet, writing them down so that they start to realize and remember what feels good, and they get to pick two things a day. And that's really exciting for them, especially because they're home all day. I mean,
Yeah.
it's exciting for adults too. The gratitude meditation is really nice, I think, especially for teenagers. I mean, obviously, all of you know your children the best. So if you feel like you can try it with your child, and if they don't latch onto it, maybe it's not the right time. But I find that, it's amazing. Actually, children really meditate quite easily. Once they start to sit still and focus on breathing, even if you get them to do it for a minute a day, it's a practice that can really start to grow. With teenagers, that's really effective. For teenagers, also, I really recommend the alternate nostril breathing. I'm finding that more with teenagers than younger children. There's a lot of anxiety about not being in school right now, not able to be with their friends. For some, it's, they're not able to go to their graduation. So some of that breathing for anxiety is really nice. And that's something that they can even do, over Zoom with their friends. And the gratitudes. I think the gratitudes and the tracking of personal growth, those are all things I think are for all ages. One thing for, younger children, when I think about children 5 years and younger, if you can get them to sit with you and just breathe, inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth, and then have them really start to just tune into feeling the energy of the earth underneath them and the energy up above them and stretching, that really gets them connected to their larger spiritual self.
Perfect. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for bringing these amazing skills and tools to us. For anyone who's on the call, if you're part of a team and you want to bring Minita to your team, she can do this for you and can obviously like adjust it depending on the type of work that you do and make it really customized and specific for who it is that you're working with. And if you want her to come and do something like this for your family, that's also an option as well. And in fact, two of the practitioners that she trains have actually donated sessions so that she can gift them to two other people or to two families. And so if you'd like a one-on-one, either meditation or something that sounds a little bit like life coaching to me, then Minita is able to build that for you as well.
Great.
Is there more you wanted to say about that?
Um, Absolutely. I think you covered it. So I can work with organizations and companies. I can work with families. If you want an individual session, we can do meditation, healing, manifestation work. But really what I do is I try to customize it just for you because I think we're all different. So just really hitting on that. And then if you, what's the best way for us to figure out who can receive the 2 free sessions?
Yeah, I mean,
Should
I
they email Family Equality? Should they email me or?
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll send a follow-up email to you all, and that'll have a survey so you can let us know how we're doing and what you want more of from our online programming. We'll also have Minita's website as well as her email address. And so if you'd like to be considered for that, I think just send her an email and she'll let you know if you made it in time to be one of those two people. So yeah, thank you again so much. This was amazing. Now, of course, you can hear my children screaming in the background. So luckily, we're in a time when I think no one's going to judge me for that. But we really appreciate you being with us and encourage everyone to check out the work that you're doing and to join us for some of our other upcoming sessions that we're doing live and online at Family Equality. So thank you everyone so much and have a lovely Wednesday and rest of your week.
Bye, everyone. Namaste.